Mishnah Hey. Last thing that has to do with a mitzvah on Shabbat that you're allowed to do. Again, the only things are, the reason why they allow you to do them is because it's a mitzvah. It's a commandment to bury. You don't delay the burial of a person. So even on Shabbat.
You can't talk about getting your car fixed.
That's for sure not.
Right.
It's only for those specific things. Okay. Mishnah Hey. משנתנו בא ללמד כיצד נוהגים באמת בשבת. Our Mishnah comes to teach us how to deal with a dead person on Shabbat itself. Somebody passed away on Shabbat, what do you do with him? עושים בשבת, you're allowed to do in Shabbat, כל צרכי המת. All the necessities for the dead person. כל הדברים הנצרכים לגוף המת. All the things that are necessary for the body of the dead. סכין אותו בשמן, you're allowed to anoint him with oil, ומדיחים אותו במים, you're allowed to wash him with water, ובלבד שלא יזיזו בעבר. As long as they're not going to move a limb from him. What does that mean? שאסור לטלטל את המת. You're not allowed to move the dead person. או עבר מעבריו בשבת. Or you're not allowed even to move a hand, his hand from here to here. Mishum muktzeh. Why? Because the dead person is what? Is muktzeh. You can't use him on Shabbat. Muktzeh means something that cannot be used for Shabbat. You cannot bury him, you cannot do anything. Why are you moving him? Bera mutaru benegia, but you're allowed to touch him. So in other words, you're allowed to smear or wash him, dead clothes, or pour water on him, whatever it is.
You're not going to lift the arm up and wash
Not allowed. No, not allowed. Yeah, but on him. כדין כל מוקצה שאסור בטלטול, like any other מוקצה that is prohibited in movement, הוא מותר בנגיעה, and it is permitted to touch. So what else you're allowed to do? There's many things. Let's say he's laying on a mattress or on a pillow, whatever it is. שומטים את הקר מתחתיו, you're allowed to pull the pillow from underneath him, ומטילים אותו על החול, and you drop him on the sand. כלומר, שמותר לשמוט את הקר מתחתיו כדי שיהיה מוטל על החול. You're allowed to take the pillow from underneath him and lay him on the floor, for example. בשביל שימתין. Why would you do such a thing? Now, you see, today nobody knows these things because nobody experiences it. Nobody dies at home today. Everybody dies in the hospital. And even if somebody dies today, yeah, at your home on Shabbat, you don't know if he's, maybe he just died 2 seconds ago, and there's still, a way to resuscitate him. So in today's day and age, if you see a dead person on Shabbat, the first thing you do is you call 911 and they take him over to the hospital and you don't deal with these things. But in the old time, there was no 911 to call. You had to deal with all the things by yourself. One of the problems is that they were trying to keep the body as cold as possible, as long as possible on Shabbat, so that it will not start to decay and smell not good. So if you leave him on a blanket or on something which is warm, it will retain the heat and the body will decompose quicker, and they don't want that. So they want to drop him into the floor so that it will keep longer. That's the idea behind it. בשביל שימתין מלהסריח, from giving a stench, מחמת חום הקרים, because the pillow is going to keep the warmth of it. והסדינים and the garments, ויש מפרשים בשביל שימתין, שיתלכלך המת בחול ולא יסריח. And also there's a way that the sand also can absorb all the liquids that comes out of the body so that it will not stink. קושרין את הלחי שעל המת, שפיו הולך ונפתח. You're allowed to tie down his jaw, because by a dead person, they start opening their mouth. לא שיעלה, not so that it will go up, שיסגר מה שנפתח כבר. You're not allowed to close his mouth. שהרי אסור להזיז בו עבר, because you're not allowed to move a limb. We already discussed this. אלא שלא יוסיף. So why you're tying it? So it will not continue to open up. So you're allowed to keep it the way it is. להיפתח. וכן קורע קורה שנשברה בשבת. Another things, oh, this is interesting, I didn't know that. A beam of your house that got broken on Shabbat, סומכים אותה בספסל. You're allowed to take a bench, you know, those times they had a bench made out of wood. You're allowed to put the bench underneath it to hold it. שהוא מותר בסיסול. Why are you allowed to move the bench? Because the bench is a bench, you're allowed to move it. או בארוכות המיטה, or you're allowed to do it with the sides of the bed. בלוחות הארוכים של אורך המיטה משני צדדיה. In the long sides of the bed. שאף הם תורת כלי עליהם. I don't think it's talking about our days, because our days a bed is a bed. But in those days, they used to take the bed apart. Today it was a bed, tomorrow it was a table. You know, the beams were used for many, many things. Our beds are probably different, but their beds, the main beams of the bed had multi-purposes. ומותר לטלטלם בשבת, and therefore they were allowed to move them on Shabbat. And again, the same problem. לא שתעלה, so you're not allowed to take the broken beam and pick it up. But you're allowed to put that bench right underneath so it will not be able to go more down. But you're not allowed actually to pick it up.
So you can like prop it under it so if it decreases.
That's right. You can even put it right under so that it will not go more than this one. But you're not allowed to push it up anymore. לא שתעלה הקורה למקומה, שהרי זה כבונה. Not that you're going to actually extend the beam up because this is like building, אלא שלא תוסיף להישבר, but that it will not continue to come down, to break. Finished. אין מעצמים את המת בשבת, we do not close the eyes of a dead person on Shabbat, אין עוצמים את עיני המת בשבת, אפילו לחייצת נפש, even after the soul have left the body. לפי שאסור להזיז בו עבר, again, because you're not allowed to move a limb, ולא בחול. And this is in a weekday, even if it's not on Shabbat, אין עוצמים עיניו אפילו בחול. Even then you're not allowed to close his eyes. when though? על עם יציאת הנפש, at the time that he dies. As he's dying, you can see that his soul is leaving him, and he's going like this, but he's still there. You're not allowed to close his eyes. He says, why? What's the problem? It's probably you want to close his eyes because probably the light is bothering him, something you want him to, be relaxed at the time of. Yes, why are you not allowed to do it? מיציאת נפש, סמוך ליציאת הנפש, close to the soul going out, והמאמץ עם יציאת נפש, and if somebody does close the eyes when the soul departs the body, הרי זה שופך דמים, he is considered to be a murderer. לפי שאפשר שמקרב בזה את מיתתו, because it is possible that this is his last strength, and he wants to keep them open, and he's using his last strength to keep his eyes open.
Tell him goodbye.
And you are making his death 1 second earlier. That's right. You're making.
So also with the end of the Torah, when it says Moshe's eyes never grew dim, does that mean his eyes remained open?
No, over there it means something else. It means he didn't. If you've seen an old person, he usually becomes.
Eyes get paler.
That's right. So it says by him, he was as youthful as he was before. In other words, many people think that Moshe passed away because of old age. So it wants to tell you, when Moshe passed away, he was as vigorous as he was 30 years old. He was in full strength. In other words, the passing away had nothing to do with growing old. It was his time to go. God decided. That's the idea behind that.